Mikey Weinstein, president of the so-called Military Religious Freedom Foundation, has forced the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the Marines to do what he wants. Now, how could one little man like this, one invisible little fruitcake, Mikey Weinstein, force the military to do what he wants? What kind of country have we become? I ask myself. Listen to the headline. The commander of the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base decided Wednesday to move nativity scenes from 2 dining halls following complaints that the decorations improperly promoted Christianity. Now, let me tell you what it provokes in my mind. I'm a big TV watcher. I relax at night watching television. And one of the shows I like to watch, one of the channels, is Military History. And last night I happened to watch the War in the Pacific, World War II, that is. And I see that 15,000 men died in taking Okinawa, American men, that is. Or I see that 5,000 men died taking Iwo Jima. And I see the crosses. I see the seas of Christian crosses. I see men being given the last rites by ministers. I see boys being led to prayer before they go into battle by ministers. I see that they have faith and belief in God in order to face the bullets and the bombs and the shrapnel that will be coming their way, knowing for sure that some of them will die. And for this, they died so one lousy, rotten piece of human trash named Mickey Weinstein can lead them around like they're worthless nothings? And you think that our enemy is radical Islam? In England today, the 2 pieces of garbage from Africa who cut up that soldier in the streets of London while screaming Allah Akbar was sentenced today in London, in Londonistan. And do you know what one of those bums did? He kissed the Quran in front of the family of the man that they killed. They broke into tears. Instead of leaping across the aisles in Old Bailey, instead of leaping and showing what England is made of, they broke into tears. Here in America, we're not too far away, I say to myself. With Mikey Weinstein taking out nativity scenes from Guantanamo without a shot being fired, what does Mikey Weinstein have to worry about? No one's going to stop him. He's taken over the entire military. So what am I getting at? Nothing. It's a big emptiness. It's a big emptiness. America has no core. It has no center. America is a mouse whose neck has been snapped in a trap. What is that trap called? You name it. America is a giant mouse whose neck has been snapped in a trap. You can call it the snap of the trap. The trap could be called political correctness. I don't like the phrase. It's lost all meaning. I have other words for it, but I'm on the radio. Now, there is a cure for this. But again, being on a national radio program, I can't give you the cure for it on the radio show. But you know what the cure is. The cure is quite severe. But you're facing a war to the death, and they're winning and you're losing. Wednesday, Pope Francis urged Christians to imitate Jesus Christ by being humble and small among the small. He trashed the prosperity gospel, and he called pompous Christians ugly pagans. I'm not making any of this up. This is not a Saturday Night Live skit about a mad pope. He said, this is the Pope now, it is an ugly thing when you see a Christian who doesn't want to humble himself, who doesn't want to serve, a Christian who struts about everywhere. It's ugly, huh? That is not a Christian. That's a pagan. He warned Christians against placing themselves above others and called on the faithful to be in solidarity with the poor. Well, I would say to the Pope that I would think that our Muslim friends would agree with him. And they should be humble to all Muslims and let the Muslims step on them like doormats. This is amazing what's going on right in front of your eyes. New York City autopsy, Florida pastor died from drugs. The New York City Medical Examiner says the combined effects of coke and heroin killed the popular pastor of a Florida megachurch. You hear this? Results released today ruled the death of Zachary Timms accidental. Accidental? He was found dead on the floor of a room in the upscale W Hotel in Times Square in August 2011. Timms was the senior pastor at the New Destiny Christian Center in Apopka, one of the largest congregations in Central Florida. He also appeared on Christian TV and radio programs. Timms started the 7,000-member church in 1996. The Orlando Sentinel said Timms had been in and out of jail as a young man and hoped the church's youth center would keep the youngsters away from drugs and crime. Church officials did not immediately respond to a comment request. Died of coke and heroin. You hear it in Times. It's unbelievable. I mean, now you understand what's going on both sides. You get whiplashed. You get whiplash. You don't know which way to turn. You suspect that it's all fraudulent. You ready for the next one tonight for your Thursday night? Obama frees 8 crack offenders, including Clarence Aaron. President Obama today commuted the sentences of 8 crack offenders. I have the order of clemency right here. That's right. He didn't release or give clemency to any of the soldiers falsely accused of crimes in Iraq for doing their jobs. Instead, he commuted crack offenders. I guess he's dashing off to Hawaii any day, and he wanted to do something good for humanity. 855-400-7282. What can you say to me? Don't even call. There's nothing ready. I'm not ready for your calls. I killed a mouse last night. I was going to talk about the mouse trap. But at the risk of you misinterpreting who I am, I didn't want to talk about the mouse trap. You see, here's the story. I had to go to a holiday event last night, and I took the night off from radio. Many of you were lost for the evening. You didn't know what to do with yourself because Uncle Mike was not there. Now, I admit that I understand what this hollowness feels like. But on the other hand, I'm a human being, and once in a while I have to join the real world other than the world of radio. So I went to a very nice holiday dinner with a group of about 30-some-odd people, very nice young people. You know, it was nice. Came home. Well, let me turn the clock back. 2 weeks ago, I killed Mickey. I suspected that mice don't come in ones. They usually come in twos, as do most animals in the animal kingdom, including mankind, except in America, where they come in patches of ones, duplicate ones. And so I assumed if there was a Mickey, there would be a Minnie somewhere, or if I had knocked off the Minnie, there'd be a Mickey somewhere. Now, I would have lived and let lived. I would have taken the advice of someone I met when I was a young boy, when he once said mice have to eat too. Unfortunately, I no longer live in a barn. In fact, I never lived in a barn. But if I lived in a barn, I wouldn't care as much, but I live in a house. And once you let vermin in a house, they tend to reproduce. And when they reproduce, they, as you well know, take over your entire property. And also, mouse droppings are amongst the most toxic of all. You can die from rodent droppings. So I'm a fanatic about these things. So I got a trap a few weeks ago, and I told you we put it out. Well, first, we tried all of your advice about peanut butter. It doesn't work. It's too gushy. Go back to Walt Disney. He knew his stuff. Cheese. They like cheese. You put a small piece of provolone on it. It's stiff. So when they touch the cheese, the snapper, bingo. All right, so I got Mickey 2 weeks ago. I came home and he was as dead as a mouse that had been snapped. He was not living. And I took him, and I told you I live near the water. I threw him in the bay. That's all. End of story with a pair of gloves. I didn't want like a flea to jump on me. So I figured, great. He had eaten into my food, and that was enough. Once he started eating, so I got rid of him. Now I'm 2 weeks on mouse free. All of a sudden, it starts in again. So yesterday morning, I woke up, and the banana had been eaten. Horrible. Disgusting. A piece of the banana had been hollowed out by a mouse. I said, that's the end of this. Got another mouse trap, put the thing there, went to the party, come home, turned the lights on, and in the dark, Teddy and I hear, yes, the poor mouse was dying. It was not dead. So you see, even a mouse wants to live. And it is a sad story in a certain way. The damn thing didn't kill the mouse. It just broke its neck, and it was dying, probably in pain. Not a pretty sight. Nobody wants an animal to suffer, least of all I. But what can you do? It's a mouse, and it's a mouse trap, and it was trying to eat into my food, and it had to go. So I looked at it. It looked at me. Its eyes were looking right at me with its neck broken, and I picked it up with a pair of gloves, opened the door, walked out to the end of the deck, and threw it in the bay. And that's it. What am I trying to tell you? You